Warner Brothers is producing a new movie in which Superman is black. In this version, black Superman's kryptonite is an honest day's work. Whoa!
Superman trailer is out, and I want to talk about it, so let's talk about it. So before we get started, appreciate you guys clicking on the video. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like. If you've been here before, drop a like. Appreciate you. Let's get into the Superman trailer. So we're not going to watch and do the whole live breakdown of the actual trailer. I just kind of want to talk about some things that I saw in the trailer that are interesting to me and some of my, I guess, thoughts about the DCEU, if that's what it's called, going forward. Now, for full transparency, I'm not a big Superman guy as far as the character, his story, anything about him, because I don't really find him that interesting as a character because he's Superman. He was created as to give people hope, you know what I'm saying, as far as back in the day when things were really shitty. And it was this guy can take on anything. Every problem that is going on, he can handle it. He's super fast, bulletproof, faster than the speed of sound, all that stuff. He can fly, laser eyes, whatever power that he needs, he has it. And there are no problems that he cannot overcome. And for me, I just find that uninteresting as a character, because if you look through all the characters, you look at Batman, you look at Wonder Woman, you look at, even if you go to the MCU, you look at Iron Man, Captain America, even Thor, all of those characters can be killed. They can all die. Superman, there's really, there's that one thing, Kryptonian or whatever, not Krypton, what am I thinking of? Oh, God. Kryptonite, Jesus. It's the one thing that can hurt or kill Superman, and it's such a rare thing, and it just seems so cheap the way that it is brought into the picture, because it's why would Kryptonite be on Earth and it's all the way, I don't know. But the fact that Superman cannot be hurt is the thing that kind of pushes me away, because there is no fighting up and getting back up, that aspect of heroism that, a lot of people gravitate towards. So when I initially watched the trailer and I saw this part where he's laying there clearly fucked up, bleeding, can't move, I'm okay, this is different. I don't think I've ever seen Superman like this. I don't recall seeing Henry Cavill's Superman so jacked up without without Kryptonite anywhere involved. Now maybe Kryptonite does this to him, but it just looks like he got beat up. He just lost the fight. And to see that from Superman makes him a little bit more interesting and compelling. And for me, it draws me in, because it's okay, what happened to him? What is out there that could do this to Superman? So, James Gunn is directing this movie. He directed Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm not I know James Gunn from the MCU, obviously, from comic book movies. So what I'm looking forward to is obviously the soundtrack. And I do think that this is going to be somewhat of an ensemble movie, because that's kind of what he specializes in when you go from the Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad. He makes it so every character matters. So obviously Superman is in this movie. His dad is in this movie. Lois Lane is in this movie. Lex Luthor is in this movie. And it looks like there's going to be other superheroes or people with super abilities in this movie. You have this guy playing Green Lantern. This guy is another staple in the James Gunn movies. Also, I didn't notice this the first time, but you can see the Hawk Tour girl. Just kidding. The hot girl in the background here. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it, but there's a better view of her in another spot. There's a really good shot of her right there. And then there's other characters that I'm not fully aware of this. So I don't know who that guy is. He looks pretty badass. I'm not sure if he's a good guy or bad guy, but I do like that in this movie that they are showing like people with abilities, superheroes or whatever, aliens. It's not out of the ordinary. There's like four of them in here, and this is Superman's first movie in this new era. So the fact that they've introduced already, they already have Superman, Lex Luthor, this guy, Green Lantern, the Hawk Girl. Apparently, there's Supergirl supposed to be in this movie, and probably my favorite part, this guy. Now, if you know anything about like James Gunn movies, um, he's going to make you feel something, whether it be with the soundtrack, with the writing, or with just the tone of the movie. And apparently, he's a big fan of animals. So if you watch like Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of us casual, comic book fans weren't aware of the Guardians of the Galaxy. We didn't know who Star Lord was. We didn't know who Gamora was. We didn't know who those characters were. But as we watched the movies, as we moved forward throughout their journey, we started to feel something for an inanimate, not an inanimate object, but a talking tree that only said three words. We cared about that tree. We cared about Rocket Raccoon. Like a literal talking raccoon had people crying in theaters after Guardians of the Galaxy 3. A talking tree that just only said I am Groot throughout the first movie, saying we are Groot at the end of the first movie, had people teary-eyed. So I already can tell that with this introduction of this dog, Crypto, that dog is going to do something to us, and we're going to have feelings. I can already tell just by looking at it, we're going to have feelings. I also want to, I hopefully I can play this without my video getting taken down by DC. But this is probably my favorite, or this is probably the coolest part of the trailer for me. It really just kind of shows like what Superman can be. Like obviously he can take down the giant guys and the aliens from outer space and all this stuff, but there's also the little girl walking across the street that doesn't see what's coming, and he's just right there to save her. Like the little things, and I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if there was anything else that I wanted to. Oh, all right. If you like, if you're someone that knows like what Superman is and what he is capable of, throwing a can at his head is insane work. How mad are you to do something like that? And if you've ever watched The Boys and you know who Homelander is, there is a scene about what would actually happen if you threw a can at someone as powerful as Superman or Homelander, which is hilarious. And yeah, that just goes to show how good of a guy Superman is that he would just ignore that. Because I'm not ignoring that, dog. You're not gonna throw a can at my head after I saved your ass, bro. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, I think the trailer is super cool. Super cool. Jesus Christ. I think the trailer is really cool, and they have a lot going on, and they've introduced a lot. But I think with James Gunn, he is capable of putting together a movie with multiple characters, multiple main characters because he's shown that he can do that. Now there is kind of a side conversation in the deep dark corners of the internet about DC versus Marvel still, and does this help and does this hurt, and whose side are you on? And there's even a conversation about Batman versus Superman fans and the Snyderverse, all this stuff. Like, for me, I know I do a lot of Marvel content on this channel, but I do like DC movies. I want DC movies to be good too. Like, I like Marvel. I'm a fan of Marvel. I'm a fan of DC also. Like, I watched Peacemaker. I watched Suicide Squad. I watched all the Suicide. I saw Suicide Squad in theaters, I think. So I like these movies, and I want them to be good. And for me, the way Marvel has been going recently, they've kind of been kind of just going through the motions and not really putting out like peak top tier content, especially on Disney Plus. So my hope is that DC, James Gunn, and Superman is $1 billion movie. Like, I need this. I want this movie to be successful in the box office and get the critical acclaim so that Marvel can look at this and say, yo, we had James Gunn in our building. We had him make 3 movies for us that were successful. Now he's over there doing it. That means we as Marvel need to step our game up. We need to make better movies. We just can't go through the motions. And if you play video games, it's kind of like what Madden is doing, where there's no one else can make Madden video games. So EA is just in this position where it's just like, okay, well, we can just put out whatever we want because there's no competition. There's no reason for us to get better. And this could be the competition that Marvel needs. Because before, with the whole Snyder thing, their movies were making money, but they weren't getting critical acclaim. So once DC kind of fell to the wayside, Marvel could just be like, all right, well, we're the main guy. We're the guy that you're going to go to for comic book movies, and there's no one else that can compete with us. But now you got someone who was in y'all's building and is showing like, hey, this trailer looks really good. And everybody knows Superman. Everybody's going to go see a Superman movie. So if this movie does great box office numbers first weekend, does, 800 million or whatever is a insane number. And then over time it sells 1 billion. And then people online are being like, yo, this movie was great. It's one of the best superhero movies of the year because it's coming out next summer. And so Marvel has, I think, Fantastic Four and Captain America that will come out before this. If this comes out and it is clearly head and shoulders above the most recent Marvel movies, that's going to have us as the fans looking at Marvel saying like, yo, you guys got to be better. You guys got to make better movies. And when that happens, that means we all win because now we're getting good DC movies and now we're going to get better Marvel movies. And that's all we want. At least that's all us like normal, non-psychopath, non-stan people are looking for. We just want great movies and great storytelling. And I think this is going to be the first step into that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Superman trailer. Are you going to see it first weekend? Do you think it's going to flop? What was your favorite part of the trailer? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep pushing out the content. We aren't going to stop. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. Peace.
Thanks for watching, babe. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.